Welcome to the Manuchehri podcast. Over the last 30 years, it has been my joy to assist humanity in aligning with their magnificence so they may heal, discover their natural gifts, and communicate with loved ones living on the other side. May you also experience delight while we dance in the powerful, intuitive world of energy. Let's get going. Hello, it's Marie. Welcome to our Energy Meets the Divine. Before I answer questions, because that's what I primarily do on this podcast, you can also find me at energyintuitive.com. All my classes that I'm teaching, we have 2 classes coming up. One is about vibration, learning how to run the vibration of your body and your frequency so that you can be more multisensory, but also be happier, like have a better life, because everything we want is at a high frequency. And when you learn to run your energy at a higher vibration, you get happier, you get more fulfilled. Everything just continually works out, even in strange ways where you think, well, that possibly will never work out. And then it works out better than you could possibly imagine. And then I'm also teaching a course on getting unstuck, getting out of your way, aligning to your magnificence. It should be really fun. I also have a beautiful class coming up on the Shift Network. It is all about reading your own energy so that you can read the energy of others, but also so you can see what's going on inside your own body. You can find all of this on my website, energyintuitive.com. So I thought if we could talk a little bit more about what does it mean to create a new reality. So if you have something in your life that it's not fun or wasn't fun, it could be something that you're currently working with, it could be something from your past and it haunts you. You don't let go, you don't know how to let go, and you're still mad or heartbroken about it. That means you're living in a reality, one that could be front and center. Like if you have a health issue and you're having to go to the doctor or have procedures, that is a reality. If you had something historically in your past that was problematic, it's actually not your reality, but you're making it your reality because you won't leave the vibration of that experience. And you have to learn to leave the vibration of that experience, or if it's a current experience, how to create a new vibration, a new vibrational experience. So regardless of if there's something like this happening, regardless if it's historical or current, I think creating a new reality is always important. That means that you're creating a new story. If you have a health issue, especially one that you've been working on for a while, but any type of health issue, you can create a reality where you don't have a health issue. That means for the majority of the day, you don't talk about it, you don't think about it, you don't do anything about it. You imagine that your body is completely healthy, that you've never even been to the doctor on this topic. Now, this doesn't mean you're being irresponsible. No, continue to go to your doctor's appointments. Focus on the things in the current reality that actually make you happy. It could be when you're at a clinician's office, you like the music they play in the waiting room. It doesn't matter what it is. It can be very simple, something that seems unimportant, but an experience that can get your energy elevated. Because if you can be in your current reality and have your vibration elevated and you're creating space for a new reality, you're going to move a lot faster from the reality that we're having from the human perspective into a new reality that's going to surprise and delight the human perspective. I think it's important to look at your experience on Earth as very layered. Humans want to make it so intellectual and like it's just this, this is it. This is all I get. This is all I had before. And as long as you stay in that energy, you're not going to allow yourself to really be fulfilled. You are a master creator. Everyone is. And so let's get into the vibration and into the doing of really living and being extremely creative, visualizing, creating emotions, creating smells. So you have this health issue. I'm using this as an example. And you're going to your doctor's appointment. You're doing whatever is necessary. You're focusing on whatever is making you happy. And you're also taking time, more time in your day to be in this new reality where you never had this health issue. That part of your body, whatever parts there are that have been a problem, don't have a problem. You are sending a new message into your cells, into your DNA, into your liver, your blood, your bones, whatever organ it is. But even while you're visiting this energy, your whole body is being fed with a completely different story. Everything really is a story. Everything is really about, what do you believe in? What do you believe about yourself? What do you believe is possible? What do you believe is impossible? Whatever you connect to, you're creating a reality from it. That's how amazing human beings are, that they could create anything that they want. Anybody could. But you have to put time into an energy about it, and you have to be creative. Creativity is a doorway into intuition, and it's that intuitive spark that gives you insights about what to do next. Like, okay, this is the reality I have, as you're living in this new reality that your body doesn't have anything wrong with it. You've never been to the doctor for that thing. You've never had a symptom. You've never had to pay a copay about it. Never had a treatment for it. Like, you're creating this new box that's attached to your energy system, and you're thriving in it. Imagine what that's doing to your body. Your body's getting a whole nother story versus the other story where you put a huge amount of your energy into, I went to the doctor, I got this diagnosis. Oh my gosh, this is going to happen to me now. I can't even tell you how annoyed's not the right word. A little annoyed when I see people my age or even younger complaining about getting old. I mean, it's almost like their parents, rubbed it into them. Their grandparents rubbed it into their parents. And it's just this preceding aspect of, oh, I'm going to have joint pain. I'm going to lose my hair. I'm going to get fat. All these things. I won't be able to walk. I'll probably break something. I'm going to need a knee replacement, hip replacement. I'll probably need insulin, heart medication. I mean, all these things. And they didn't even happen yet to them, or they have maybe a little bit of arthritis in one of their fingers, and they're, scared to death that now they're going to have arthritis through their whole body. So we have to learn to look at the stories that we're telling ourselves, the ones that are playing out, like something has happened or is happening, but don't put a lot of energy into those stories, and don't put any energy into stories that you don't want, that are not a part of your body. Don't, or a part of your life or your wealth or your friendships or your playfulness or your career. Don't put stories into your life that have nothing to do with your current reality unless they are highly desired. So in one half, you're finding things, one half of your day, you're finding things to be perfectly excited about, enjoy. You want to keep your vibration elevated. So that's through happiness, authentic happiness. And then the rest of the time, you're creating this new reality. Not only while you're creating this new reality, you are, in the case of the body, sending positive energy to the body, but you're uplifting your spirits. You're opening up your energy so much that you're opening up your energy to magic, to incredible outcomes. I think this should be taught in preschool. I mean, the kids do it. They play astronaut and teacher and parent, and they do all kinds of fun things. I mean, one of my grandchildren, who's 3, I mean, she's on a stage every single day in the house. Yes, it's a coffee table or a dining room table or some piece of furniture. She's got a mic on. She has like a little plastic guitar on her. She's got the cutest outfit. She's making her own stories right there. And as long as people don't tell her, what are you doing? Or you can't have that, or that's silly, you're not Taylor Swift or whatever, she is opening herself up to all kinds of opportunities as she grows and changes. So unfortunately, most of us were not told that we can't be an astronaut or a physicist. We were told that we cannot be those things when we were quite young. And so we stopped dreaming, we stopped co-creating. And co-creation is really you, the universe, your higher self, God, angels, beings on the other side. They're always happy to help anything of high frequency. So start creating a new reality and start spending time in that reality. And no, this is not going to lead to a mental health issue. So many people are afraid that they're going to get some mental health issue, or they're going to go in denial. People are in denial when they will never go get a checkup and they have symptoms, right? That's what denial is. Or not getting therapy when you clearly have emotional issues. That's denial, or stubbornness, or something of that nature. But please start creating these new realities. It's going to raise your frequency. It's going to start to change your life, and you're going to get a lot more things that are fulfilling beyond your wildest dreams than when you don't. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and go to our voicemail messages now.
Hi, Marie. This is Crystal from Southern California. I was just calling to say thank you for everything you do. I appreciate your messages. Initially hearing it on Next Level Soul and then resonating with you. I follow you on YouTube, of course, and it's nice to hear quite often. So thank you for giving back to us. So I have two questions, but don't feel obligated to answer both. Sort of dealer's choice, whichever you feel called to answer. So my first question, I'm 42 years old. At 40 years old, I stopped making an effort to reconcile with my identical twin sister. We've just always had issues. It's something that has sort of been a hostile relationship, which is hilarious because I'm an identical twin.
Right.
So I literally hear her right now. Anyways, it's just one of those things, I guess, expanded me for sure to not be able to reconcile with this. And the reason I ask is because I'm going to be moving in with her and my father soon.
Ooh.
So I'm sure by the time I get this, it'll already have happened, but no problem. Hello, future me. So I'm just curious your interpretation on that relationship. Second question. So I am actually the second and my sister the third of my mother. We both had a brother that was born and had passed away at 52 days. My mom should not have, according to the doctor, had another child, but then she had two. So,
Love it.
She's one of my heroes. She almost died in all that. And, my entire life I watched her grieve my brother. So I'm kind of curious about your perspective on that because he's a spirit that I've always held dear in my heart and know that he influences us, but it's just something I never deliberately asked a psychic about before. So I'm curious if you have any interpretation on that. And again, don't feel obligated to answer both. It's just something I was curious about. And again, I just want to say thank you for everything you do and for your callers for allowing themselves to be vulnerable. That's really admirable. And I appreciate the honesty and courage you give to a lot of us on the earth. So again, thank you so much. And I hope you have a wonderful day and many love and blessings to your doggo and kiddos.
Oh, thank you, Crystal. All my love to you and your family as well. First of all, the story about you and your sister is hysterical. And the picture I got is it's as if your parents were really busy or somehow distracted. And although they were good parents, from what I can see, maybe they weren't as nurturing. Some parents are super hands on, some parents are not. And when you have siblings that are close together, well, in this case, twins, and if there isn't a lot of nurturing going around, they can start to be competitive with each other. This is all unconscious, right? Like the parents don't mean to be this way. It can be all kinds of logical reasons, but then kids, because they know they are supposed to have more attention, they become competitive. And they don't think that it's about the parent child or children interaction in this case. Everybody will think it's about the kids, but it's typically not. It's really about the parents are not giving enough attention to the children. And so we see this a lot in bigger families, obviously, and the kids are close together, but I can see it in your family intuitively. So I'm hoping, since you're both adults now, and your dad's going to be there, he can't go anywhere or not very, very far anyway. Maybe there'll be a major healing between you and your sister because your dad will be more present with both of you. So I have a good feeling about it. I hope that's true. I hope that's what's happening, but I have a good feeling. So 52 days, right? That's a short period of time. I'm obviously heartbreaking. I can't imagine losing a child at such a young, precious age when everybody's falling madly in love with them. Now, the soul who chooses to come in and have an early transformation back to the heavens, like they've only been in utero for 9 months, and not all souls even sit in the womb while the fetus is being developed. Many souls choose to enter the womb at birth. I know. And so they kind of stay up in the heavens, hanging out in the ethers before they enter into the actual physical womb. And your brother tells me he did the very same thing, even though he knew he was going to be leaving, within a couple months. He knew that. It was what he asked for. So typically when a child dies very young, in that case, or even in utero, so before they're born, but they're in the womb, many times the soul is looking for a healing that's related to early childhood, or while in development during the fetus womb experience. Like maybe something happened in a previous lifetime and they've been working on resolving it in non-physical realities and it's not working. Like maybe somebody did like a self-abortion and it was, kind of a trauma for the developing fetus, especially if they were in the womb at the time. There's all kinds of things that could have happened in terms of maybe a baby was born and the woman couldn't terminate a pregnancy and she didn't want to have 9 children. And so she was neglectful of the infant at an early age. Like there's just all these possibilities, but there's some sort of trauma that happened in a previous lifetime, maybe more than one, to a person who was quite young. And so they will choose a family that's going to be so excited, but they don't want to live a lifetime. They don't want to stay very long on earth. So they choose a family where they can be cherished even as the baby is growing in the womb. Because even if they're not in the womb, they're in the heavens and they can see everything that's happening on earth. And they feel loved and cherished and celebrated after they're born, and they heal that wound. And then they go, oh, yeah, I'm going back to heaven. And they transfer over. So try not to think of him even on the other side or even in the heavens, because he could have moved on to another dimension. In fact, it's hard for me to fully grab onto him. Like I'm having communication and conferencing, but it's softer, so he could live in another dimension. But I will tell you, he feels enormous gratitude for all the love and joy he received about coming to earth. And you guys talked about him. You talk about him still. So he's like constantly getting these kudos and these, oh my gosh, we wish you were here and we're sorry he left, or, what's happening in the conversation. He's continuing to get extra love and attention, even though I don't even think he's on earth. He's not on earth. He's on, in some other dimension, but it could be millions, billions, trillions of miles away from even the heavens of our reality. So I don't know if that's going to be helpful or not, but that's what I think. He made an excellent choice. Thank you.
Hi, Marie. I have 2 quick questions.
Okay.
One is related to my right eye. I can't seem to find the right prescription for reading and working on the computer. It's always blurry. It'll always start to hurt. My eyes are slightly
different.
Very minimal difference in how I need help in reading. But for whatever reason, my right eye can't figure it out, and I've been to many doctors, contemplating going to a holistic doctor, but it continues to be blurry, and in some cases painful when I'm reading. Also, just a quick question about if you sense any future for me in perhaps the intuitive field. I am a certified life coach and kind of looking where to take that next. Thank you so much. Appreciate you.
You're welcome. Figuring out this eye thing is going to help even with what you want to do next, because the eyes are about how you see yourself. And a lot of people do not have a positive, and I mean, you need to have a really high positive perception of oneself to actually align to our natural gifts and talents and begin to fully living them in work or hobbies or whatnot. It's critical to really love oneself. So if you can work on valuing and appreciating yourself, that's going to help your eyes. You're going to send positive energy to your eyes. And the right-hand side is all about personal power. So that tells me you most likely give your power away. You don't stand in your power, which means you overcompromise or you overgive. Got to knock that stuff off. I don't know where you live in the world because you didn't give us that information. But my favorite eye doctor is Dr. Jim McMillan. He's a Harvard graduate, was an eye surgeon, loves holistic medicine. And he's in Bellevue, Washington. So, in the Medina Eye Center. So I really like him. He does not take insurance. So, but I think he's very talented. His patients do extremely well. But I would look, if you don't live in the area, I would look for a holistic eye doctor. That means somebody who also studies herbs and natural forms of medicine, has had some great success with their patients. Yeah. Okay, great. Oh, so yeah, I did answer both questions. Wonderful. Thank you so much. So start looking in the mirror and say, babe, I love you. You're amazing. You're incredible. And your eye will start to get better.
Hi, Marie. This is Chanda.
Okay.
I have a father who is 84. And if anybody was ever in my soul family, I know it's him. We have such a good time. We enjoy each other so much. And I can't stand the idea of being without him. I want to be ready. I want to learn how to raise my energy so that I can hear him. And I would love to know if you see that for me. What chakras do I need to work on? Any healing that I need to work on? Raising my energy, the things that I need to do to be ready for his eventual passing, so that I'm not miserable and missing him terribly. I have reached out to a couple of ladies in my area to try to get some mentorship. There are some training programs that these ladies offer, and I'm trying to pick which one. One is older, one is younger. Do you have any thoughts on that?
Yeah.
Or is this a journey I need to just take on my own? I'm not sure. I know that I'm intuitive, possibly medically intuitive. I've never thought of myself as psychic, although that would be fun. What do you see for me?
Sure.
And I am so appreciative and thankful for you. Thank you so much. Bye-bye.
Of course. So we got to get you out of this whole waiting for your dad to die thing, because you're not going to enjoy him as much. If you stay in that place that he's already dead when he's sitting in front of you, that's not going to be fun. You're not going to be able to be present with him and fully enjoy. Anybody could die at any moment. You could die before your dad. And that's not a prediction, by the way. But I just wish humans would put that into their perspective. Like, anyone could die at any moment. And your dad's already 84. He looks pretty healthy to me. He's active. He looks very happy, which creates longevity for individuals. I'm so happy he's your person and you love each other so much. And if you could start to look at that death as just a normal process, it's time for the soul to go to a different reality. And that's why different people die at different times. Souls don't really care about chronological age, like dogs. They don't care about chronological age. They're just looking for, when am I being called back to the heavens? So try to stay in the present moment with your dad. That's going to raise your vibration, because that's what's going to need to happen once he does cross. And I almost want to make a joke, unless you're already on the other side, which again is not a prediction. I'm just really want to pound into humanity that we can't prevent it, which and it can happen to anyone at any moment. So that's why if we can be as consistently present with the people we love, at the very least, then we feel fulfilled. It's kind of like people who have kids, who wanted kids, right? And they have kids, and some people got to spend a significant time with their children growing up, and some people couldn't. And the people who couldn't spend a lot of time with their children really miss them when they go to college. The people who spent a lot of significant time with their children, they were very present with them, they of course miss them, but they're also just excited for their future, and they're excited for their experiences because they got filled up. They got to be present with them, right? So I don't know if that's a good analogy or not, or some people are going to be offended by that, but it's one way to kind of look at it. You've got to be present with your dad because you'll have way more fun. And then when people leave, there's this fulfillment, like you're okay with it, versus if you stay in this, when are they going to go, energy. And yes, you are psychic. To medically intuitively read is a psychic energy. Psychic just means intuitive. It means the same thing. I know some people look at the word psychic in such a weird way. So when you're choosing a teacher or to read a book or take a class, you need to sit with yourself and see which one brings you authentic joy. So the non-authentic joy would be, oh, that teacher would love to have you, which is nice for a teacher to want a student in a class. But is it bringing you joy? I was taking a class once, and it was a really helpful class for me. I took it for almost a year because I felt very supported. I already had a practice at home, but I was still building it in energy work. And I think the teacher really liked me, which was super nice. She was very helpful. She was a very good teacher. But I would always ask, not always, but I would ask questions, and I would be told that that's a fourth year question, so I couldn't get it answered. So even though I liked going there and I felt validated and appreciated, I wasn't in a high frequency because I wasn't where I needed to be if I was going to be taught by a human being, right? So you want to find out, are you authentically happy? So intuitives and older souls, they have big heart chakras and they can read the energy of other people. They do it all the time. And then they sometimes project their own feelings onto others or project the other person's feelings onto themselves. So you need to really get in your body, and you probably have already made this decision by the time I hear a question, right? Months have gone by. But this is what you need to practice anyway, because that's what's going to be the great fit. That's what's going to be the great fit. Yeah. So enjoy your dad. That'll keep your energy up so that when he does cross over, if you're still here, wink, wink, by the way, I'm still kidding, then you can enjoy the whole entire process too and be delighted in the magic of beings connecting through multiple dimensions. Yeah. Your dad will love it too. Thank you.
Hi, Marie. This is Lili from California. I would like an overall energy reading. I am 59, and at the end of 2017, I was diagnosed with stage 4 lymphoma. But I'm doing really well, and that's kind of when my awakening started. And I know I'm guided, and I feel my guides, and it's just that's a wonderful experience. I've also been working on receiving and opening my heart. I know I'm an old soul, so really working on loving myself. I have been feeling kind of tired. I know it's hormonal. I had my hormones checked. I tried bioidentical hormones, but they were too strong and they made me feel kind of worse. So just wondering if there's an alternative that that's better for me, like an herbal formulation.
Sure.
Anyway, I'm glad to have you as a teacher in my journey, and I just want to say thank you and love you so much. Aww. Thank you. Appreciate you. Bye.
I love you too. All of you with all my heart. So HPA Adapt has a great hormonal, I still take it. Actually, I stopped it for a while, but sometimes I still take it. It has like maca root in it, other things I can't remember. And then Feminine Essence, which has actually has had studies. So they've done studies with it, research. It's approved by the FDA. And they have 3 different formulas. So you just look at your symptoms and your age group. I bet you would be on the 3rd one, right? Because of your age, right? Into menopause. Your energy looks great. You've got beautiful dots in that first layer of the auric field. Congratulations on healing yourself. I'm so proud of you. I think everyone heals themselves, whether they are playing with modern medicine or playing with energy medicine or some other form of holistic medicine. I think people heal themselves. I really do. And so thank you. I would say the only area where we could have a little stretch in is the third layer of your auric field. It does participate in the immune system, and it does connect to the third chakra, which governs all of the hormones in the body too. But too much thinking, analyzing, and processing. I drew lines and they're really tight together. So let's not do so much of that tightness in the mental plane. Let's think less, right? Think less. I just don't spend a lot of time thinking. It's kind of like Australia just passed a law like yesterday that children 16 and under will not have access to social media, some large platforms, which I think is so incredibly healthy because it takes decades, sometimes up to 30 years before the brain is fully developed. And we adults who didn't have social media when we were young, we can see how overwhelming that is for our own system. Like it really affects the autonomic system pretty significantly. So that's what happens when we look at the third layer of the auric field and the lines are really tight. I like to see space in them. That means the person is having more present moment experiences, which I wish everyone would just layer into their life. Like even while I'm sitting here doing something I really love, I'm also like feeling nature outside. I'm feeling the pets on the other room. I'm allowing myself to have a layer experience because we all are multisensory, whether we realize it or not, which makes it super fun. I hope that's helpful. Thank you.
Hi, my name is Torie Victoria, calling from Northern California. Love listening to your podcast. I have a question about my magical body. I've been working on TMJ to tight pelvic floor, hypertonic pelvic floor pain for like 4 decades. And I do my exercises and it gets better, and I do yoga and breathwork and weightlifting. I do what they tell me to do and it gets better. So then I stop doing it and then it goes back again. But I have this new chiropractor and he keeps pointing at my stomach and saying, this is where trauma is held. And every time I go in, he tells me, this is where trauma is held. And I don't have any capital T trauma that I'm aware of. I'm a very sensitive person, and I feel like I can get traumatized by watching a movie. But I've worked on it so much, and I'm at a place in my life where I'm super happy and relaxed. Yay. And I've been doing so much work to get to this stage of my life where
so great.
My life is filled with like ease and joy on a regular basis. Do I have to give my body the update? Do I need to let it know that it's safe and it can relax? And it doesn't need to hold tension anymore?
Yes.
Or is there something energetic that I'm unaware of that for the reason for why I keep going back into, because I can feel myself tensing. I know I do it in my sleep, but I also do it in the daytime. If I work on my computer, I can feel my body tensing. If I'm watching TV, I'm becoming aware of it. So if it's just awareness that I need to work on and relaxation, or is there something else that seems to be hiding from my conscious awareness that maybe I need to resolve or let go of so that I can have a more relaxed body? Thank you so much.
You're very welcome. And congratulations on the awareness. I would talk to your body. When you notice you're watching TV, you start to tense up. You're on the computer, you start to tense up. I would look down at your body and go, everything's okay. Everything is fine. It's 2025. We're sitting in the living room right now. It's a beautiful day. I would literally out loud speak while you're looking down at your body, because you're having this like a fight or flight response. Like the trauma could even be multiple lifetimes, but trauma doesn't have to be horrible in order for humans to have a reaction where they tight all their fascia. That's what you do. You've over the years, that's how you've responded, is you tight your fascia, you tight your muscles. And the pelvic floor is one of those areas where people can have incontractable pain or weaken their ligaments and their tendons from, so close and tight in that pelvic floor. So think of it more about your fascia, if you will, because I think that'll make you happy. And communication occurs on the fascia. A lot of intuitive information in the body is running through the fascia. So obviously you have improved. Obviously you're feeling better. This is great. When I look into your second chakra, it looks a little empty. I don't see a bright orange vortex. I mean, when I go in there and really, really stare, then I can see a small orange vortex, but you have a lot of space in that area, which governs the pelvic floor, by the way. And it's all about joy. So you're already having more happiness in your life. You're noticing when you're tensing. I think you need to talk to your body so it doesn't activate your adrenal glands and your autonomic system and get your body to tense up again. It's like a fight or flight response. Yeah. And then maybe get a fascia massage or get one of those fascia devices. You can find them online. Like there's the fascia blaster, but there's a really great silver, simple, inexpensive tool that physical therapists use. Yeah, it works great. And you could spend time in the evening putting like some beautiful aloe on yourself or some butter type of cream and use that or some sort of oil and go ahead and just work on your fascia. And you could just be very loving and playful with your body when you do that too. That could be fun. Or if you want to, you could do it in the shower as well so that you could rinse off the whatever moisturizer type solution you use. But yeah, talk to your body. Please, you're making great movement. But what we want in the pelvic cavity is bliss. Bliss. In Chinese medicine, they look at the flow of water and they think of it like it should be ice when it's flowing in the brain. So it moves in a circle, let's say from the pelvic floor up to the head. And it's freezing ice water in the head. And then as it comes down, it gets hotter, hotter, hotter. Like emotions are supposed to be on fire. The pelvis is supposed to be on fire. And then it gets cooler and cooler as the circle moves back up to the head and gets ice cold in the brain so that there's no thinking, but there's authentic feeling. So you're on the right track. Congratulations. Just continue to let go too, because trying to fix everything and working really hard, that's a stress. That's a tension too, right? Just be happy with where you are. I think that would be lovely.
Hi, Marie. My name is Kirsten. I'm calling for my son, Thomas, who is 22 years old. He's a lovely, lovely young man. And the last 9 months, he's been having reoccurring flu and cold symptoms. Quite often, like sometimes twice a week. And the symptoms are, they can be diarrhea, sore throat, sometimes fever, sometimes snotty, sometimes headache, tiredness. He's black around his eyes, even though he sleeps a lot.
Precious.
He's been to the doctor, and they have tested his CBCs and can't find anything.
That's great.
I'm thinking his gut, but I am so happy I get to ask you and get your perception of him and his body, and maybe you could give us some tips of where to start to help him feel better. Yeah. Thank you so much.
You're welcome. He is a young person who does need to learn how to raise his vibration. He tends to run it low, but let's look at environmental factors. Let's do a mold test where he sleeps or other areas in the home. It feels environmental. That's why his symptoms keep changing. Right? The environmental toxins, which most doctors don't test for, unfortunately now, a naturopath probably would once they did all the blood work and it seemed normal. They go, maybe we need to check your house. What's going on with your house? Or do a test for Lyme's disease, but this feels more mold related to me. That's what I felt as you were talking. So let's look around the house or where he lives and see if indeed there is mold. Some people are just more sensitive to the environment too, or someone could be sleeping near a wall that has had water damage, right? And nobody knows. It could be in the wall. But there are environmental tests that you can purchase from good companies that can test the air and can give us results. But I think it's environmental. And he does need to get happier. He does. He kind of walks around. I know he's not feeling good, like the sky's falling. So we want him to stop that. All right. I hope that's helpful. I really do. And hopefully you have figured this out already before I listen to it. Thank you.
Hi Marie, my name is Farrah. I'm originally from the Philippines and I've been living in Vancouver, Canada. I'd like to ask please what you could read about my husband's spirit and my health. My husband Angelo transitioned last year. He had a scheduled heart bypass. He actually had 5. While in rehab in the hospital, something happened and he became unconscious 2 weeks later, and then I was told by the hospital to pull the plug eventually. Immediately after his passing, his energy was so strong that he would send clear signs and messages through music, through friends, through dreams. Once I even had an encounter with a stranger who I thought appeared to look, dress, and walk like him. The person was on a sidewalk as I was, and when that person came closer, maybe about a feet away from me, he stopped and asked me, "How are you?" in Filipino, our native language. And I saw that spark in their eyes like my husband did, and I was stunned, and it just left me speechless. When the person went away and I looked back, the person seemed to have changed, like he was hunched and walked differently. I believed my husband used that stranger to talk to me, but now I don't sense him anymore like that. I hope to know if he's around me and my kids all the time or most of the time, or is he busy exploring other universes elsewhere? My second question is about my health. I was a sickly child, but since my husband and I got together, I realized that I didn't get sick anymore. And I used to tell him that. Is there an explanation to it? Our life just got better and better together, actually.
Right.
I'd like to stay healthy for my children until it's my turn to transition. At this point, I hope to know how I could make myself healthy and strong so I could also continue working. Thank you so much, Marie, and I'm grateful for this opportunity to ask you.
Of course. It's my absolute pleasure, and I'm so sorry for the loss of your beloved husband. I truly am. So when someone passes away, even though it's a sad time, especially in this case, it goes in for a surgery. Obviously, it's a little complicated, but most people survive that type of surgery, right? Especially at his age. And then complications occur and then they pass. But regardless of the circumstances about when or how someone dies, it is a time where families can really connect with each other. Like everybody starts to love one another. There's lots of positive conversations, flowers, emails, cards. It raises the vibration of a lot of people because everyone's feeling loving and they're talking about the departed one, typically in very positive ways. So it's not uncommon for those still in the human form to sense and feel their departed loved one. It's not uncommon at all. And yes, your husband absolutely borrowed that person's body for a few moments to just tell you, babe, I'm okay. I'm sorry this happened. I'm really okay. He just really wanted you to know that because, it happened faster than he ever thought it would. Sometimes people use animals. I once had a friend who passed and I was about to go to his memorial, and there was a coyote in my backyard, maybe 10 feet away from the window, just staring at me, a very young, healthy coyote. And I was kind of perplexed. That's why he came as a coyote, because his family had such a incredible, loving, high vibrational experience during his passing while he was in hospice. And we were all still in that energy. And now we're going to memorial where most people weren't. And I was like, should I change my energy and not be as happy? And he said, no, be a coyote. Do it the way you want to. It's really quite lovely. So yes, on all of those things. And people's energy can feed one another. You can feel it. You can feel it when you're around people whose energy is good for you. You can also feel it when you're around people whose energy isn't good for you. And you can look at some couples where one person thrives when they meet and the other person's energy just dwindles. You can see that in the relationship. And then if those two people break up or if someone passes away, let's say the person whose energy was robbed or they gave it to the other person, all of a sudden they come back to life and they're so happy and they're so vibrant. So being together for both of you was a very positive, energetic connection. It's a very positive relationship. So if you want to have more of those experiences with him, because he is around you guys, he does do other things, but he comes around you, you have to raise your vibration again, like you did around the time that he passed. Even though it may not have seemed like you had an elevated frequency, you did. So it's so much easier to pick up on those subtle, beautiful moments of visitation. I hope that helps. Thank you everyone for listening today. I hope you are having a beautiful day and a great holiday season. And I wish you many, many joyful blessings. Bye-bye.